Hey everyone, my name is Bella. I'm a mom who loves baking all things sourdough, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make your very own classic sourdough loaf. Now this recipe is super simple and easy for beginners, so I definitely recommend starting here. And once you nail this recipe, go to my channel and check out all the other things you can make with sourdough. All right, now let's get to it. So with this recipe, I'm going to be making 2 sourdough loaves. First, you're going to grab your scale. My favorite is this 2-piece scale. It makes it a lot easier to see what I'm doing as I'm weighing it. I'll link it down below. Place a large mixing bowl on this scale. And you're gonna weigh 650 grams of water. Now you're gonna add 1,000 grams of organic unbleached bread flour. Now mix together the flour and water. Now once that's combined, it's going to be pretty sticky and firm. You're just going to set that aside off of the scale for about 30 minutes. This part helps develop the gluten naturally. After those 30 minutes are up, you're going to grab your scale again. Grab your active bubbly starter. Now add 200 grams of starter to the mixture. And lastly, add 2 tablespoons of salt. Now mix all of those together until it's well combined. Don't forget to get every last bit around the bowl in the dough. Let that rest for 30 minutes. And after those 30 minutes, you're going to perform your first set of stretch and folds. How you perform a stretch and fold is you grab one side of the dough gently, stretch that side out, be careful not to break it, and then fold it over on top of itself. And then repeat that same process on all 4 sides. You'll notice as you're working with the dough, it's going to start getting a lot stiffer. This helps improve the dough structure, builds the gluten, and also encourages an open crumb. Now between the next 1 to 2 hours, perform between 1 to 3 stretch and folds every 30 minutes. Personally, I do 2 sets of stretch and folds. Now once your stretch and folds are completed, you're going to cover your dough with saran wrap and let it sit overnight or until it has doubled in size. Once your dough has doubled in size, you're going to put a new bowl on the scale and then place your current dough into the new bowl. This part of the process helps us measure out the weight of the dough so we can equally split it into 2 loaves. Once you found out how much the dough weighs, just take that amount and divide it by 2. Now place your dough on a floured surface. Gently split the dough in half. And then weigh each side to make sure they are even. Now lightly dust your banneton basket with flour or rice flour. And now you're going to shape your dough. How you shape your dough is you're going to gently lay it out. And you're going to grab one side of the dough, fold it into the center, grab the other side of the dough, fold it over that one, grab the end of the dough and gently roll it until the smooth side is up. Now you're going to take your hands and pull the dough gently close towards you. creating a smooth surface on top and tucking all of the seams underneath. Once that's complete, your dough is going to be in a nice round shape with a smooth surface. Place that face down into the banneton covered in the fridge for 12 hours. When you're working with hot cast iron, I recommend getting rubber oven mitts. These ones are my favorite for sure. I'll link them below. You're going to start off by preheating your oven to 500 degrees, placing a cookie sheet on the rack below, and then place both Dutch ovens into the oven for 30 minutes to preheat. Now you're going to take your oven safe hot pad and dust it with some rice flour. And then flip over your cooled dough so the seam side is down and the pretty side is up. Make sure your dough is perfectly lined onto the hot pad. And then dust the top with flour. Now take your scoring knife and carefully score the bread. I'll show you two different ways you can score your bread. This one is a very simple crisscross score. Make sure that your scores are about 1/2 inch deep. Sometimes you may have to peek in the oven at 6 minutes to re-score your bread. And here's the second way that I score my bread. I do a long C shape on one side, and then a few simple small dashes on the other side of the bread. This scoring is a lot prettier, whereas the first one is a lot quicker. Now carefully take out your heated Dutch oven. Place your hot pad with the dough inside of the Dutch oven. And very, very carefully take a few ice cubes and place it on each side of the dough. Then quickly put on the lid to trap in all the steam. The steam is going to help your bread rise and give it a nice crust. Place that Dutch oven into the oven and then repeat that same process with the other Dutch oven. Be careful when you're working with these because the Dutch ovens are very, very hot. Now bake that for 20 minutes. Keep an eye on your bread though because every oven is different and cooks at different times and temperatures. Once those 20 minutes are up, you're just going to take the lids off of the Dutch ovens, pour a cup of water on the cookie sheet below, and bake it for another 8 minutes. Once those 8 minutes are up, you're going to take your internal thermometer and place it on the inside of the loaves. Once the bread reaches between 200 and 205 degrees internally, you know it's ready. Alright, my bread reached the correct temperature, and now I'm going to pull them out. Look at that beautiful golden crust. I think they turned out absolutely beautiful and they smell amazing. Now I know you're excited to cut into it, but make sure your bread is completely cooled before you do so. Take your nice bread knife and then cut straight down the center and see how your bread turned out. Ta-da! I think it looks amazing and it smells perfect. My husband loves using this recipe for his sandwiches and just for his morning toast. I hope you guys love it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what you think.